We're here to tell you, we actually just bought that yacht. Hard to feed the koi when you drop all the food on the ground.
Oh hush. I can walk in a straight line. I'm just saying that I'm legally not allowed to drive.
We're Haley and Cooper, and we spent most of 2024 fixing up an RV and taking it to the West Coast. Along the way, we traveled through 13 states,
Washington! Minnesota! We're in South Dakota, baby!
Wow!
and 5 national parks. For our next major trip, we are going south for the winter, including the country's oldest city, St Augustine, Florida.
Last night we arrived in St Augustine.
And now we are on our way to go check out the historic downtown. We're not really sure what to expect. There's like a walking tour Haley found online.
Yep.
Other than that, I guess we'll go find out.
We are on a very bumpy road, so we apologize for camera movement here. But either way, yeah, like you said, we're on our way downtown. We're excited to go check out the historic buildings, just kind of see the sights. So looking forward to that. Also, if we call it St. Augustine at any point during this video, we met at St. Augustine Church. So we're having a hard time remembering how this town is actually pronounced.
They're spelt basically the same, but they're not.
Yeah.
Also, this drive is pretty simple. You're basically on a road that goes for miles and miles on end right along the coast, which is pretty nice.
It's beautiful.
So I think we're on North Beach area.
Yeah.
And it just takes us right into St. Augustine. So it's a pretty smooth drive. Haley told me that St. Augustine is apparently the country's oldest city.
It was founded in 1565 by the Spaniards, as you probably figured out.
And a lot of the buildings here have like this cool Spanish architecture. I'm not really sure what any of the buildings mean.
We're really excited to walk around.
Hard to feed the koi when you drop all the food on the ground.
Oh hush.
This place is so authentic that they have a Starbucks. Oh, hey there. Welcome to my crib. Come on. This is a simple dining room. We just walked through potentially one of the most beautiful college campuses ever seen.
It's so lovely.
It was Flagler College.
Yeah, don't know if we're saying that right.
It looked like a pretty small school, but we didn't look up the size. But really awesome. It's just in the middle of the city too. The main reason why we brought you all here today is because we're here to tell you, we actually just bought that yacht.
No. But it would be nice.
We may have timed being at the marina at the perfect time because I think there's a pirate ship coming under the bridge.
Okay, so I just took this photo. Cooper's gonna flash it on screen. Does it not look like we just dropped the green screen background in front of classic cliche bridge? Because we feel like it does, but it was a genuine photo taken right here.
Or are my Photoshop skills really just that great?
I don't think that's it.
It's a really good thing we didn't bring Bessie down the street.
It is tiny. We are headed into a section of town where you can't drive, you can only walk. So naturally there's traffic, as there always is, which seems quite counterintuitive.
This whole area is really cool. It's a bunch of small alleyways and streets.
You just turn a corner and then there's this whole other courtyard section off to the side with lights and music. We're not on the street right now, so it looks a little bit...
It's a little bit dark.
Yeah, I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Sitting on the dock of the bay, just wasting time.
This morning, we decided to wake up and go see the sunrise on the beach.
Whoa, it's pretty.
Which sounds really impressive, but the sun doesn't rise until 7:10, so it's really not that early.
We don't normally do spot tours, but we figured we'd show you around. This is a really nice campground / RV park. So if you've done any RVing at all, you probably know most campsites are really close together, especially RV parks. And this one's super nice because, as Cooper can show you, we have a lot of space. This is a huge pull through. We're surrounded by trees, it's very lush, and honestly the whole RV park is like this, which is super nice. We haven't had any people staying next to us for a while, and it's very, very full here as a whole, but we really haven't seen that many people, so it's been a great spot.
Another thing to note is we have full hookups, so water, electric, sewage, and you can pull through. And we're actually leaving in the next like 3 minutes, so it's gonna make it really easy to leave and go to our next spot.
Golfing!
This is where the RV is parked.
Ta-da!
And that's where the golf course is. It's a really convenient Harvest Host, and
It
it's
is.
right in town. It's actually closer to town than the campground was. And we just finished, and we did a scramble.
Yep.
And we played pretty well, actually. So do a golf montage of all our shots now. We actually decided to come out to St. George Street in downtown St. Augustine tonight.
And I've just been walking around, and classic us, they're having like a sort of art festival. I guess they have once a month. So we happen to be pretty good at timing it with festivals, which we're okay with because that's extra fun.
We found this older couple selling these cool little like custom made little art scene things
Yeah.
made with the same stone from that like the fort here is made of. So they kind of gave us a little bit of history, which is really cool. But we haven't gone to the fort yet, so we didn't get like the full effect.
We're going to the fort tomorrow, and they were really affordable, which is rare. We were thinking they could have sold them for like double what they actually sold them for. So we bought one, and someday whenever we stop RVing, which will be sad, but we'll be okay. Someday whenever we stop, we'll have a house and we'll put it on the wall. Right now, all of our wall space is filled, so it's just gonna go in storage in the moment, but we couldn't pass it up, and it'll always remind us of St. Augustine. It might be kind of hard to see during the light, but this stone we just learned from the guys that we bought the miniature house off of is made out of shells, and this was formed by the ocean floor over like hundreds of thousands of years, and then they even said millions of years, and a lot of the old houses and different buildings in town are made out of this, which is so cool. So the Spaniards learned how to cut it, and all the old stuff is made out of this. Look at all the shells inside. We also got to pick up like a little brick of it. I'm assuming like half of one of these stones here, and it was like 20 plus pounds. It was a serious, it's like a cement. Decided to end the night with some ice cream in the park. We went to see this one band. It was just a performance that was happening, and the music wasn't really our style. The venue was awesome though.
The venue was really cool. It was very hippie. That people were wearing like tie-dye and like the huge hair, so it was kind of cool to see, but there was probably some things that you could smell that we wouldn't do, so we didn't stick around very long. And now our backdrop is the oldest Catholic church in the United States. In the oldest city in the United, I mean, makes sense, but. So that's pretty fun. We're gonna go check that out on Sunday.
We are going downtown to go check out the farmer's market. It's very foggy, so hopefully that's okay and not really, really wet. And then we're going to Anastasia State Park, headed to the Castillo de San Marcos. Definitely butchered the sound of that name. Going to the Our Lady of La Leche Shrine. And Cooper, what else are we doing? We have a bourbon distillery tour, which neither one of us really drink bourbon, but we're gonna start, and then we are gonna maybe go out for dinner tonight. So a very jam-packed day at St. Augustine. We've made it through like maybe half the farmer's market.
There's a lot here.
There's a lot going on. We got a chicken
Arepa? Arepa?
It's like said it was Mexican street food.
Venezuelan
Street food. So it's gluten-free because it's made of cornmeal. And we're watching this huge band play.
It's really fun.
There's like 50 people up there. Ended up getting some kombucha.
Our very first.
It's
pretty good, actually.
Fermented tea, we're surprised. And it's supposed to be good for the gut health, which means we can eat whatever we want and it's healthy.
I don't think that's exactly what it means, but I don't even like tea, so it's better than I was expecting.
We are at the Castillo de San Marcos.
It wasn't as much luck. This was more planning, but they actually have a cannon firing in like 15 minutes.
Woohoo!
We have to try and find out where that is first.
A fun fact about the cannon firing is that all these people are volunteers except for the commander. He is a park ranger. This is supposedly the speed that they would actually load and fire the cannons while it was in use. Overall, it's a really cool experience, and of course there's a photo opportunity at the end. We then took some time to go to these sessions happening where they tell you all about the city of St. Augustine and the fort, how it was founded, and all the politics and kings and rulers during the time period. Most of the fort is actually open to the public and you can go walk through all the rooms and it's really cool. However, the main attraction is the big square in the middle. And a cool story we heard about this is at one point during a siege, they put all the townspeople in there, which was over 1,500 people. And to feed them all towards the end of their food supply, they actually snuck out and got a cattle herd and rushed them into the fort. So at one point there was 1,500 people and a couple hundred cattle.
We heard some really cool presentations, and one of the things that they talked about is the fact that in kind of childhood history books that you studied in school, most of the time it's from the English perspective, and so we hear more about like Plymouth and things like that, but really St. Augustine's is the oldest, or St. Augustine's is the oldest city in the US, and it was just founded by the Spaniards, and we just don't hear much from the Spaniards' perspective, so that was actually really fascinating.
And after that, we then went to Our Lady of the Leche, or Our Lady de Leche Shrine, which was where the first Catholic Mass was held.
Yeah.
Which was also very interesting. And so
the
that
first one here in the US.
Yes, that place was a little less touristy.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously within reason. And now we're on our way to a bourbon distillery tasting. Unfortunately, the last shot had coconut in it, so Haley couldn't have it. So I got 2. We finished the free tour,
Which was fun.
It was quick, short, easy, and however, you do have a decent amount to drink for a free tour. So it's not that like we're a little bit feeling it. We haven't eaten in a couple hours, so
Probably wasn't the best one.
we'll see how this like tasting tour goes.
Our guide was super entertaining and gave us 4 different types of bourbons to try, along with this tasting wheel which breaks down all the different flavors of bourbon. Apparently when you're tasting bourbon, you're supposed to smell it and take a little sip before you actually drink it to get the full effect of the flavor and not just the burn. We haven't really perfected this step, and here we are trying the bourbon for the first time, and it was good. But like I said, we're not bourbon experts, so we can't really break down the flavor for you. He then took us into the back of the distillery where we got to see the behind the scenes work before taking us into the gift shop for one last tasting and a chance to get to look through all the things they have for sale, including this really expensive bourbon.
All right, so we're feeling it a little bit, and by we I mean definitely me. Basically had 5 shots slowly, but we had them.
Over an hour.
Plus 4 before that. No, I only had 3 because I couldn't have the coconut one. So that, yep.
Haley's feeling good, living life.
I'm not like tipsy, I would say. I can walk in a straight line. I'm just saying that I'm legally not allowed to drive.
It was a really great tour. We would 100% recommend it
was
if you're
super
in the
fun.
area.
Both the free one, which is really nice. They did just a really good job, especially considering it was a free tour. They had people there answering your questions. You got 4 shots. So all of that was just really nice. And then obviously we also really enjoyed the Spirit of, I think it was called the Spirit of Florida bourbon tour as well. And our guide was excellent.
Unfortunately, the bourbon was a little out of our price range. Their one bottle that was my favorite was over $200, or was $200. Yeah. So
I think there was some bourbon that was cheaper. He just happened to like the bougie bourbon.
I'm a bougie guy.